Hey guys, Panzer J back here in Operation Big Red 1. This is turn 9.8 for the KMT and 9.9 for the United States. It's July of 1940. So let's get into the KMT portion of the turn. They have just $1 to spend, so clearly they have to save that, nothing to spend it on. They do have one attack, so we're taking our entire army that's in Kwichao, and we're going to come over to Hunan. The Japanese have a lone militia there. I believe I have to cross a river to get to Hunan. So let's see. That entire army we're going to leave. Obviously, the two militia have to stay behind in Kwichao, but the infantry or the army that goes into Hunan will be 15 infantry, 6 artillery, 1 mountain, 1 cav. Okay, so the artillery aren't affected by the river. So we've got 6 rolls at a 3 for our artillery. First strike. So let's see if we can finish this guy off with 1 hit. We need 1, 2. And we got a 3. So we did succeed in killing off the militia. Okay, so now the KMT have that wonderful low morale rule. So cavalry and infantry retreat on a roll of 10 or higher. So now we got a roll for all of our cavalry and infantry. So first the cavalry at a 10 or higher, a 1, so he stays. And then we got 15 infantry, so let's do them in groups of 5. And anything 10 or higher retreats. The first 5, we got a 3, 1, 6, 7, and 8, so no retreats there. The next 5, nice. 4, 4, 3, 6, 6, so no retreats there. And the last 5. Wow, just 1. 4, 2 5s, a 3, and a 10. So 1 retreat. Okay, I like that. Okay, so we do take Hunan. And one of our infantry retreated back to Kwichao. And then, of course, the 2 militia stayed behind. Let's see. Okay. So, how about non-combat? Do we want to do anything for non-combat? I think we're going to take 2 of the infantry that are in Yunnan and come over to Kwichao. If Pete wants to go in Yunnan and pull himself further out of position, I guess he can do that if he wants. Okay. Hopefully we're giving Pete quite a few things to worry about here, so... Okay. So that's it for non-combat. So for income, we went up 2. So let's take Japan down 2 from 50 to 48. And the KMT goes up from 1 to 3. Okay, so how about income for the KMT? They saved $1, and they're at 3, so they have $4 next turn. Okay, unit recap. We have in Sikang is a militia. In Yunnan is 3 infantry and 3 militia. Kwichao is 2 militia and 3 infantry. And Hunan is 6 artillery, 14 infantry, 1 mountain, 1 cav. Okay, so that's it for the KMT. How about onto the U.S.? I haven't set aside purchases yet because I wasn't sure what we're going to hit for tech. So let's do tech first. We're going to try for improved construction, 7 or higher. Jets, 8 or higher. Long range, 8 or higher. Large ship, 8 or higher. Heavy strat bombers, 9 or higher. And rockets, 9 or higher. Okay, so let's do construction first. A 10, that was the one I needed to hit, or at least wanted to. So I believe we finished construction. Jets at an 8. A 1 we miss. Long range at an 8. 5 we miss. Large ship at an 8. 2 we miss. How wonderful. Strat bombers. We'll call that a 7 we miss. And rockets. 11. So we got a whopping 2 out of 6. So that's our worst showing yet. How wonderful. Okay, Rockets moves to 2. I guess that's not terrible. And then we did complete improved construction. So, not so good. Okay. So now that I think I'm able to use my income the way I wanted to. Okay, so now we've got 50, 70. We got $74 to spend. But improved construction does knock down the cost of ships by $1, which is what we were looking for. Okay, so for $74, we're definitely going to lend-lease the British a fighter for 10, lend-lease the Free French and infantry for 3. That's 13, and we're going to upgrade the minor port in Puerto Rico and Midway to a major for 3. So that's 16. Okay, over here, we're going to advance some ships on the build queue. So again, for -1, we're going to advance a fleet carrier and 2 battleships from stage 3 to 2. So the fleet carrier should be 4 and the 2 battleships 5 apiece. So that's 14 plus the 16 over here, that's 30. Okay, so what else are we going to buy? We're going to get 3 naval transports. And again, instead of 7 apiece, they're 6 apiece. So that's another $18. So what's that up to? 30, that's up to 48. We're going to do 3 artillery for 12. 48. That's up to 60. We're going to upgrade 1 militia to an infantry for 2. So that's 62, I believe. And then we're going to declare war on Portugal, and that costs us $10. So that's 72. So I think that's everything. Let's just go through it real quick. So for 74, we got a lend-lease fighter for 10, a lend-leased infantry for 3, that's 13. Upgrade a port to a major for 3, that's 16. 3 naval transports for 18 is 34. 3 artillery for 12 is 46. An upgraded militia for 2 is 48. The 3 ships for 14 is 58.62. And then the $10 for attacking Portugal. So there you go. So that's 72. So we saved $2. Although actually, with improved construction, I think the port might be $1 less. So I might be saving 3, but I'm at least saving 2. Okay, combat. We have a couple. So first, this destroyer here in A19 is going to come off escort duty in A19 and come over to A18 and go on escort duty. And then we're attacking Portugal. So first we got the Portuguese have a torpedo boat destroyer we need to clear out. So for a screening force, we're going to have this light cruiser from A44 come up 1 to A35. We're going to have these 2 destroyers at a major port in A25 come over 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to have, we got 2 tactical bombers in DC at an air base. They got a movement of 5. So they're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And the 2 of them will also be a part of the screening force. Because they can't attack Portugal itself because I didn't hit long range, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay. So that's the screening force. And then going into Portugal itself, we've got these 3 naval transports in New York at a major port. They're going to go 1, 2, 3. And they're going to drop off from New York 3 infantry. And then if there is a second round, the 3 artillery. Okay. Also coming over from Gibraltar, we've got a medium bomber. So that goes 1, 2. And that is what's attacking Portugal. Okay. As far as a landing spot for the 2 tacticals, this, oh yeah, also, this heavy cruiser is going to come up 1 and be a shore bombardment for the landing force. And then the fleet carrier is going to come up 1, and that's going to be the landing spot for the 2 tacticals. Okay, and I believe those are only 2 combats. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So we've got 2 tacticals, 2 destroyers, and a light cruiser for the screening force. So let's do the 2 tacticals at 7s. A 6 and a 1, so well, even if that's cocked, we still got our 1 hit. The torpedo boat will destroyer in return. A 3, I believe they defended a 2. I'll double check, but I think he's dead. Okay, so we can go ahead and land. We got a shore bombardment with our heavy cruiser at a 2. A 9 misses. We've got a medium bomber at a 7. A 3 does hit. And the militia in return. A 5 misses. So we take Portugal. The 3 infantry land. The 3 artillery land. And that's worth $1. So let's go ahead. The U.S. is at 61. They go up to 62. And that's it for combat. I think Italy gets that territory over there in Africa, but I'll leave. I'm not sure, so I'll just leave that the way it is for now. Okay, non-combat. These 2 coastal subs here and A38 are going to come over 1 to A39. This fleet carrier and A44 is going to come up to A35, and then those 2 tactical bombers land on that fleet carrier. Over here in D.C., we're going to have these 2 infantry in D.C. rail up to New York. So put them on the card. Okay, we've got a fleet here in P76. So let's go ahead. We don't need this marker anymore. Let's come over here. So we've got the 2 battleships come over 1, 2, and go in port here in San Francisco. Then there's a destroyer and a light cruiser. They go 1, 2, 3, and they're going to go in port in San Francisco. Over here in San Francisco, this naval transport is going to come out of port carrying 2 Marines and go 1, 2, 3 into P-22 off of Midway, drop the 2 Marines off on Midway. The 2 naval transports in Hawaii come out of port and go over 1 to Midway, dropping off 4 infantry on Midway. 2 battleships, a heavy cruiser, and 3 destroyers come out of port in Hawaii and go over 1 to P-22 and off of Midway. Let's see. What do we want to do with this fighter? On Hawaii, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I guess it'll fly to Midway as well. The 2 coastal subs here in P-24 move up 1 to P-23. And I think that's it. Let me just take a look around real quick. I think that's everything. Oh, the medium bomber has to fly back. So that went a total of 2. It'll go 3, 4. Fly back to Gibraltar. So I think that's everything. Okay, so how about unit placement? So we've got a couple of Lend-Lease items. So we've got the British fighter and the French infantry. So the French infantry can make its way down to French Guiana there. Put that guy there. The fighter can leave New York, make its way over here to southern England. So put a fighter over there for the British. We've got a upgraded major port in Midway. So put this over here. And then everything else is on the East Coast. So we've got 3 naval transports that are going to go import in New York. Okay, and then we've got 3 artillery and a militia upgrade. So the 3 artillery go down in New York. And that's where the militia upgrade is. So take him off and add another infantry. And that should be it. Okay, so for income, I saved 2 or possibly 3 if I saved $1 off of that major port construction. So I either got 2 or 3 saved, and I'm sitting at 62. So that puts me at either 74 or 75. For next turn, how about a unit recap? In New York, in port are 3 naval transports. In New York are 3 infantry and 3 artillery. There's 2 destroyers on escort duty in A-18. In Portugal, we have 3 artillery and 3 infantry. In A-35, we have 3 naval transports, a fleet carrier with 2 tacticals, 2 destroyers, 1 heavy cruiser, 1 light cruiser. There's 2 coastal subs in A-39. There's a medium bomber on Gibraltar. Over in the Pacific, we've got in San Francisco, in port, we've got 2 battleships. In Hawaii, in port, we've got a light cruiser and a destroyer. Hawaii has a militia, a light armor, and an AA gun. There's 2 coastal subs in P-23. On Midway, we have 4 infantry, 2 Marines, 1 fighter, 1 militia. The port there is now a major port. And in C-Zone P-22 outside Midway, we have 3 naval transports, 2 battleships, 1 heavy cruiser, 3 destroyers. So that should be it for the U.S. and KMT. Turning things over now to Hambone and Germany for 10.1.